I wanted to do this intro with the original Mortal Kombat theme. You know the one. But apparently that's copyrighted. Why can't I do the cool things that I really want to do? But hey guys, it's me, Davy, your favorite schmuck, and I want to welcome you all to Live Action Fighting Game Movie Marathon 2. The return of the very long title.
If you haven't seen last year's marathon, which I linked into the description, I made the choice to look at a set of live-action movie adaptations of many famous fighters like Dead or Alive, Tekken, and King of Fighters. And they were bad to different degrees. Some of them were mindless popcorn cheese, and some were Kazuya's Revenge, which, after watching it, might just be the worst film I've ever seen in my life. I am not kidding about that one.
But this time we ain't f***ing about this year, because we're gonna be looking at 6 films, all based around 2 iconic franchises that you'd probably think first when you think fighting games. And today, we're talking about Mortal Kombat.
Now, the original release of Mortal Kombat came out in 1992 and was the brainchild of one Ed Boon and John Tobias. After saying, "What do you mean we can't make a Bloodsport game? Then screw it, we'll make our own version of Bloodsport, with ninjas and wizards, and we'll have our own Jean-Claude Van Damme, but this time he's a massive tool." So you know, like the real Jean-Claude Van Damme. And thus, the game was released under the now mummified pharaoh known as Midway, and it became a massive success. And how did it achieve this fame? Was it the use of digitized actors? Was it the emphasis on a grand narrative? It was the violence. It was the fact that you could do this. Yes, MK's main staple and claim to fame were the fatalities. Special finishing moves that were so graphical that it became the first ever game to be given the equivalent of a rated R. And likewise also helped create the video game rating system so it could be rated R. Well, that and Night Trap, but we're not talking about that. But even though this was a game that was condemned by all parents, it was also a game that was condemned by parents, so you know it was the hottest shit in the 90s. So much so that it got the attention of one Larry Casanov, who went on to help add to the success of Mortal Kombat by making music albums, a TV show, a cartoon, whatever this was.
It helps them to be positive. It helps them to be able to overcome any obstacles which is in their life and be able to attain goals. It helps them commit to.
And of course, for the topic of this video, a motion picture.
And the thing is, for at least a very long time until recently, with the releases of stuff like Detective Pikachu and the Sonic films, the movie that we're looking at right now, was considered for the longest time the greatest video game movie ever made. Not just greatest fighting game movie ever made, greatest video game movie, period. And the more you know about video game movies, the more you realize that is a very low bar to cross. But for now, let's focus on the first and best motion picture that this franchise has to offer. So let's test our might and look up in the guides how to do those finishers. Because, guys, I want to talk to you about 1995's Mortal Kombat.
So the film starts out with the sickest opening to any video game movie out there, and it's accompanied by the main theme itself, Techno Syndrome. Which, once again, can't play it due to copyright. So you know what, screw it, here's my rendition. With my mouth noises. Dun 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 dun. We then cut to a monastery where we see 2 guys duking it out. And by duking it out, I mean one-way ass-kicking.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Ha! Joke's on you! I don't have a brother!
You will be next.
Ha! Joke's on you! I don't have a soul!
Then after we get jump scared, we cut to one of our main protagonists waking up from a nightmare in the green room. This is Liu Kang, and he has been given the news that his brother, the guy who totally ate has been killed and now he must return home. In which we then cut to Hong Kong, where we follow our second protag, Sonya Blade, who is leading a raid onto the very 90s grunge discotheque in order to detain the leader of the Black Dragons, Kano, who is currently concocting a plan with the other man from the beginning and the main villain of this film, Shang Tsung, who is played by the legendary Cary Tagawa. And even though this is definitely his most well-known role, we are definitely familiar with him on this channel because he also played Heihachi in the Tekken movie and Kazuya's Revenge. So Kano makes his escape and Sonya interrogates a goon for his location. And then we cut to our last main protagonist, and by far the best character in the movie, Johnny Cage, who is currently filming an action scene.
This is where you fall down.
Oh boy, you guys are in for a treat, because throughout this entire film, we're gonna get a lot of one-liners, and they're just... Bruce Campbell levels of on point.
So pissed off on how the production of this new film is going, Johnny storms off the set and comes face to face with his old sensei, who, after lamenting over the press believing Johnny is a fake, proposes to the young actor to enlist into a tournament to prove he is the real deal. Then it's later revealed that his sensei was actually Shang Tsung in disguise. And now, with our main characters introduced, we then cut back to Liu Kang returning to the monastery, where the residents greet him in open arms. It's here where we learn that Liu Kang's brother was originally going to join a supposed tournament that will decide the fate of the world, before he met his untimely fate. It's because of this, despite his protest of this tournament's legitimacy of, not being a regular-ass tournament, Liu Kang decides to take his brother's place if it means that he could get a shot at his brother's killer.
Oh yes, I forgot. We're fighting for the fate of the world!
That's why you left the temple and ran away, isn't it?
Here we are, born to be kings with a...
Can't have fun. Can't have fun. Can't have fun. I can't have fun with this. I can't have fun with this. I can't have fun!
Enter the Thunder God Raiden, played by the Highlander himself, Christopher Lambert, who proceeds to roast Liu Kang before giving him a helpful serving of the floor. And then Liu Kang walks off in a huff, solidifying his choice to join the tournament, as Raiden states that he is the only hope. Oh boy. We then cut back to Hong Kong as we see Liu Kang has made the trek along with Johnny Cage.
You want me to carry your luggage?
Yeah, I pay money, you carry the bags. Or is that too complicated?
Racism!
Thank God I didn't ask him to park the car.
Okay, I'll give you that. That was worth a one-liner. We then see that Sonya has also shown up to the port while looking for Kano, as a very inconspicuous boat decides to arrive on port just... When are we gonna learn that Shang Tsung owns a tiger? We are getting into tiger-owning levels of evil with this boat. No wait, scratch that. Tank of Sharks level of evil with this boat. So everyone decides to get on the totally not an organ harvesting boat, as the three main leads meet each other for the first time and surprisingly bounce off each other. Or at least it's just Liu Kang and Sonya bouncing off of Johnny, and I gotta say, yeah, it's kind of perfect. It's here where they also come face to face with Shang Tsung himself, as he introduces the trio to Scorpion and Sub-Zero, who are definitely the weaker part of the film. Don't get me wrong, they have some badass fights coming up, but the whole point of these characters is their rivalry, and that's basically non-existent, and their personalities are of a plank of wood, and...
Say the line!
Scorpion. Get over here!
So yeah, it's a tad disappointing that we got these guys. Also, Scorpion's spear is alive for some reason. I don't remember that in the game lore. Must have been on the cartons. I can't say this word.
Enough!
Man, okay, fine. I'll end the review. Fine, sorry. Did not know you were that, picky. Fuck.
That was fun!
Friendship. Friendship? Again?
So Raiden comes to save the trio and tells Shang Tsung that fighting outside the tournament is against the rules, in which he responds with, "Okay bro, whatever," and promptly leaves. Raiden then takes the three to the upper deck to tell them that they will be defending the Earth in the tournament known as Mortal Kombat. With a K, of course. They are very adamant that you add the K, and that they must face against the forces of Outworld. For if they fail, the Lord of Outworld will rule over the planet, and it's up to one of these three to be the one to defeat Shang Tsung and save the world. So basically, Raiden's just telling them,
I just want to tell you both, good luck. We're all counting on you.
You know, I think it has occurred to me that people my age might not get this reference. Okay, so there's this movie called Airplane. It starred Leslie Nielsen.
So Shang Tsung does this.
It has begun!
And everyone now arrives onto his island. Also this. Then the combatants make their way to the castle, where the decor kind of speaks for itself. Look, he even has a bad CGI statue and a woman! This dude's got everything!
Nope!
Now we get to the big feast, in which Shang Tsung states that tomorrow, Mortal Kombat will begin, and he gives a demonstration on some of the fighters that they might be up against, as he shows Sub-Zero taking on a jobber, in which then Sub-Zero kills the man in the most PG-13 way that you could get away with.
I was frozen today!
It's here where Liu Kang and his amazing friends decide to tail Shang Tsung as they soon eavesdrop on a conversation with Kano and the reigning champion of Mortal Kombat, Goro, who, by my surprise, is a rubber suit. That's something I have to give props for doing for the guy, instead of going CG like,
Oh my god! What's wrong with your face?
It's also here where we learn that Shang Tsung is actually a wizard that can steal people's souls, and there's only one man that he's concerned about in this tournament, and that is Liu Kang. As it turns out, he's actually a descendant of the great Kung Lao, which I don't think is right, but you know what? I'll let it pass this time, because I'm having fun. He's also afraid that the Emperor's adopted daughter, Kitana, the woman we saw earlier, might collude with our heroes, so she must be prevented from doing so. And then the Dunderhead trio decide to leave by making as much noise as possible, which alerts Shang Tsung.
We are not alone.
Snooping as usual, I see.
As they escape, Liu Kang gets sidetracked by Kitana and is attacked by this thing. Ugh. So well, that just happened, and now the trio are back to escaping before getting ambushed with a fight scene. This fight scene even has the main theme playing. The theme that I can't play, so then Raiden comes and stops the fight entirely, again. We then cut to Raiden talking to the main trio about Shang Tsung on how he is a very tough dude with attitude, and that they should be prepared for the tournament. Which then we just cut to the tournament, and I will say this section is definitely the easiest part to write about, because for a good while, we're getting nothing but back-to-back fight scenes.
Well, in that case... I'm just gonna have a good time.
Okay, first up, Liu Kang versus Dreadlock Dude. He's not in the games, but you know what? We already got our bases loaded for the characters, and he seems like he's having a good time fighting. At least until he gets the suck.
Fatality.
Alright, next round, Sonya Blade versus Kano, the murderer of her partner. And it is a slugfest on both ends. Then the match, as well as Kano's life, ends in a way that any man would be proud of, by having your neck snap between a woman's legs. God bless you, Kano. Okay, round 3, Johnny Cage versus Scorpion and his, rope snake.
Get over here!
And yeah, I'm just gonna say the fights are gonna ramp up from here, as during this fight, Scorpion teleports Johnny to fucking Blight Town. Then he does the other Scorpion thing he be do sometimes, by going full Skeletor. And then afterwards, Scorpion gets killed in the most gruesome death that a PG-13 movie could allow. And then he exploded.
What? I'm enjoying the movie.
Anyway, bonus battle! As Shang Tsung has Liu Kang fight Katana, which is like the thing you really shouldn't be doing, man. And as they are fighting, Katana whispers into Liu Kang's ear about the next match, as she says, hey, next match you gotta use water. Wait, what? And then this little thing is over so we can start the actual match, that being Liu Kang versus Sub-Zero. And yeah, the fight is fun. And damn, for 1995, the effects are pretty impressive. But thanks to Raiden literally cheating by putting some buckets of water into the area, and Katana's advice,
use the element which brings life.
You're right! I'll defeat him with Spooge!
Nope, instead Liu Kang uses the water to have Sub-Zero freeze it and get impaled hard. Or at least PG-13 level hard. So now everything is going in our hero's favor. Then Goro makes the scene as he flattens a bunch of stunt actors before we get to the next round of Goro versus this dude, who is not a character from the games, but throughout the film he's been pretty chummy with our heroes, and just gives off the vibe that he's gonna get beaten up and then he's gonna die. So then this man proceeds to get beaten up and then he dies, which makes the three complete friends sad. With the hope of beating a behemoth like that going down the drain, the team starts to get distraught before Raiden comes in to say,
now that sounds like a skill issue, dog. Maybe if you tried getting good, then you might actually have a chance of whooping that Jim Henson Creature Shop motherfucker, like I did your mom. Anyway, I have some pizza rolls that I need to attend to in my air fryer, so don't fuck up or the universe will explode or something.
So in a desperate attempt, Johnny decides that he will take on Goro first. So now begins the champion round, with Johnny Cage versus Goro. The giant taunts the actor by taking his glasses and destroys them in front of him. But when the match begins, Johnny unleashes his secret move, the dick punch.
We would collapse like a bunch of rats.
So Johnny makes a quick getaway, leading Goro to a ledge, in which he says this golden line,
Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole.
then kicks his ass off a cliff and says this golden line.
This is where you fall down.
Yeah. Johnny is the best character in this film, but bar none. I sure really hope nothing bad happens to him later.
So now, Earth has won Mortal Kombat. Or at least could have if Shang Tsung wasn't being a little bitch about it, and kidnapped Sonya because her arc ended with Kano. So she's got nothing else to do now. So that means it's up to Johnny and Liu Kang to enter Outworld to save her. But unluckily for Liu Kang, he got 2 flawless victories, then looked up at the moon and saw Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho!
Meaning now he is forced to take on... Okay, this is pretty cool. They added Reptile, the secret fighter from the first game, into the movie. They didn't have to do that, but mad respect. But then Liu Kang defeats Reptile via bicycle kick, and then meets up with Katana, who gives the backstory about how Outworld was actually a good place until they lost 10 tournaments. Then the evil Emperor came in and conquered the realm, and now it's up to Liu Kang to stop all of this, and you know where this is going, right? You know he was the chosen one, yeah, correct? Don't have to spell it out? So now we get to Shang Tsung's tower with... Jeez, lady, what is that haircut? It's here where the Mad Wizard challenges Sonya, and if she doesn't decide to fight, then the Earth is doomed. And then Liu Kang comes from the left and goes, "You're my kill!" And now the final bout begins. Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung. And damn is it something. The two are going all out, with Shang Tsung pulling out the stops with summoning dudes and shapeshifting into his brother, Liu Kang being Liu Kang, and of course... But thanks to some insta-death spikes, the fight ends with Liu Kang kicking his shit in, then suddenly getting superpowers to knock him down to his death.
Flawless victory.
Yeah! He said the line!
Then all the souls that Shang Tsung has captured are now free, including his brother. And everyone returns home to celebrate. Or at least until the sudden appearance of the goddamn Shockmaster.
You weak, pathetic fools. I've come for your souls.
I don't think so.
God, we'll get to that, but as of now, that's all I got for Mortal Kombat. It was a good film. It was a very good film.
It's a fun 90s action film that, for the most part, uses the source material fairly well. And really, fairly well and fun is all a video game film needs to be. And somehow studios have been f***ing that up for 20 years. Unless you count the Pokemon anime films. I was afraid going into this that the movie would have aged, but I'm happy to report, even after all this time, it's still good. It's just fun, and surprisingly stands at high regards, even without the game's signature gore. And of course, let's not forget that the legacy of this film actually impacted the games in many ways. From stuff like Johnny Cage's character, to Kano actually being Australian. And of course, let's not forget that copyrighted theme that we all know, and really wish were in the games more. I honest to God recommend this film if you just want to see a fun action movie, or to see that if you give enough love, you can make a good video game movie on the silver screen. But all in all, just a good film.
But that's all I got for this video, so next time we're gonna be flipping the coin to talk about the fighting game that ever fighting game, Street Fighter. And until then, you guys enjoy yourself, you have a good day, and you know what? Here is the acapella version I made up for this film, just for you. I'll play it in the outro. Yeah, that's it. Later, guys.
Dun 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 dun
Mortal Kombat!